As the 5th entry in the Smash Bros. Series, 6th if you're being pedantic, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is also the most ambitious entry in the crossover franchise. The name of the game is more. More characters, more stages, more options, more music, more everything. But with such a huge undertaking, it would be easy for a game like Smash Bros. Ultimate to skimp on the details, yet it doesn't. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a platform fighting game like its predecessors, where characters from the far reaches of Nintendo and beyond come together to duke it out, and as ever, it's a frantic, chaotic, and incredibly fun mess. The basic gameplay is responsive and varied thanks to the vast roster of characters on offer, and while each fighter is fairly simple to pick up and play, sharing inputs and basic concepts, there's a surprising amount of depth to be found within each character. While Smash Ultimate is about as easy to pick up and play as any of the entries in the series prior, mastering a character actually feels much more achievable than ever, thanks to the inclusion of pause menu move lists and more extensive character and skill tips found within the game's menus. These features, specifically the pause menu move list, are a fantastic addition, especially when you consider that the roster numbers in the 70s now. As far as the roster goes, there's something here for every type of player. You've got your good all-rounders like Mario and Ryu, range-based characters with varied arsenals like Link or Simon and Richter Belmont, speedy characters like Fox, Pikachu or Sonic, or big heavy hitters like Donkey Kong and Incineroar, and everything in between. There's also a huge variety of stages on hand, pulling from all sorts of sources from Mario and Pokemon to Metal Gear and Final Fantasy, and while you can always set these levels to Battlefield or Omega forms to limit the chaos, in their normal form these stages can provide a lot of unique twists to every battle. Shadow Moses Island, for example, has 2 destructible walls that box the action in, while Bayonetta's Clock Tower stage features numerous disappearing and reappearing platforms. Beyond the gameplay quirks these levels provide, each one is ludicrously detailed. On top of the angels flying around in the aforementioned Clock Tower stage, it also actually tells the time, while the Super Mario Odyssey level, New Donk City, houses a band that will dynamically join in on its soundtrack for specific songs. And the crazy thing is, almost every level is packed with details like this. On the subject of music, Smash Ultimate's chosen library of songs is more vast and varied than even its massive roster. Even without unlocking any tracks, the available music on offer is staggeringly huge, with a great selection of music from practically every game represented on the roster, with a few neat extras thrown in for good measure. I was never expecting to hear tracks from the Wonderful 101 soundtrack, or even the Wii Shop music, but hey, I'm not complaining. And that's not saying anything about the incredible tracks composed just for Smash Ultimate itself. That World of Light theme is amazing. Really though, I can't stress how impressive Smash Ultimate's attention to detail is. The cappy eyes on Mario's hat when he taunts, the difference in colour between Richter and Simon's holy water flames, the cracks that appear on K. Rool's belly armour after he takes some hits, these are all details that can easily be lost in the chaos of your typical Smash battle. The fact that there are so many similar little details present is kind of ridiculous. There are some more noticeable visual elements, like the critical hit super close-up that gives the final hit of a match an intense cinematic flair, but really it's all the little things that blew me away. The level of care that's been given to the characters and levels also carries over to Smash Ultimate's various game modes. For starters, you have Smash Mode, which is your basic setup for when you just want to fight some friends or some AI opponents. It's highly customizable, allowing for timed, stock, or stamina battles, or any combination of the three, with varying levels of items or handicap damage thrown in for good measure. You can also have levels shift halfway through a fight into completely different levels if the game isn't chaotic enough for you, and finally being able to access your character's final smash via a meter is a nice change of pace from the usual mad scramble to break a smash ball before your opponents do. Here you also have access to tournament modes, squad strikes that let you take 2 teams head to head across multiple battles, or Smashdown, a mode that forces players to choose from a shrinking roster as you use up fighters along the way. These are all fun ways to experience Smash Ultimate, though they're a lot more time consuming than your usual quick single round of Smash. Classic mode makes a return, but instead of it being a single tower and a single final boss for each character to take on, everyone has their own uniquely themed challenge. Now, some of these are obviously more unique than others. Ryu's stamina battle against fighters that evoke Street Fighter characters, or King Dedede's Royal Rumble that pits him against kings, princes, and princesses come to mind. It leaves other characters like Samus or Fox, whose classic themes stop at the idea of spacefaring characters and calls it a day, feeling a little bit lacking in comparison. But the handful of classic modes that come off as underwhelming are probably only this way because there are so many great ones on offer. Beyond classic mode, Smash Ultimate also has the World of Light adventure mode to offer people of a single player preference, and tasks Kirby with saving his fellow Smash characters who have been lost to Galeem, the Lord of Light. What this actually means is that you'll fight your way across a map in a huge number of customized fights that are meant to represent game characters who appear as spirits. These spirits offer players power bonuses as well as more specific buffs once acquired, but actually fighting these spirits is honestly much more fun than using them yourself. While you obviously can't have every single character ever in Smash Ultimate, these fighters are the next best thing. Fighting a stamina battle against a side special focused Bayonetta as a reference to Street Fighter's Jury, or taking down facsimiles of Breath of the Wild's Guardians are just a couple of examples of how much effort has gone into making the single player offering in Smash Ultimate fun and surprising. That said, World of Light can drag a bit. There are more spirits in the game than the adventure mode knows what to do with, and although there are interesting twists on the map you explore and the fights you take on, it does wear a bit thin before the final battle. I'd also argue that people looking for a success at a Brawl Subspace Emissary might find the mode lacking, as it doesn't feature a lot of story beyond its initial cutscene. Thankfully, more often than not, the spirit battles are a charming approach to referencing characters beyond the roster, and the unlocked fights are some of the most fun, fast and challenging fights in the game, though you can get these by playing Classic Mode or just playing normal Smash after a while. Speaking of unlocks, I think my biggest complaint is that unlocking the entire roster is not only time consuming, but the methods for unlocking make little to no sense. You can unlock characters through the adventure mode, but outside of that, each classic mode run will result in a new challenger that you can fight to unlock. Occasionally completing fights in other modes will also cause these challenges to appear, but there's no rhyme or reason to how these unlocks are set out. For instance, you would think that beating Link's classic mode would result in Zelda being unlocked, or at least someone who's tangentially related, but no. You'll unlock King K. Rool of all people. The only place where the unlocks kind of make sense is in adventure mode, but that can take forever. In addition to taking forever, the unlock fights get harder and harder as you unlock more of the roster, so there's a good chance you'll be caught unawares by a tough unlock fight just as you've finished using a character that you're not particularly familiar with. It can be kind of annoying. But even after sinking as much time as I have into unlocking the entire roster and finishing World of Light once over, I feel like I'll be playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for a very long time. With all its extra challenges, unlockable music and Mii outfits, and the replay value that comes with any multiplayer game, Smash Ultimate has plenty to offer. I've even found its online offerings are pretty solid for the most part, though there's the occasional bout of lag that would pop up every so often, whether playing against groups of people or participating in one-on-one bouts. No disconnects though, so that's pretty good. So with all that said, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is excellent. With so much care put into its roster, levels, and game types, it's easy to look past small things like adventure mode's excessive size and the game's weird approach to unlocks. Honestly, I could play default Smash for hours and hours on end, and Smash Ultimate provides ridiculous levels of customization and replayability. Fans of the series have already probably got the game, so if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Newcomers, if you've been waiting for a chance to jump into Smash, there's never been a better time, what with all the in-menu tips and the recent addition of a mid-game move list.